Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to sit down and try some new makeup. I have a bunch of products that I have either purchased or gotten in PR recently, and I just want to test them out. So today we're just going to be trying a full face of new products, and I'll let you know my first impressions. Of course, I will link everything down below. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoy trying new makeup videos, give this video a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I've got you zoomed in and I want to apply some more of this lip balm. So this is new to me. I've never tried anything from this brand, but this is the Bloom Super Balm in Vanilla Cream. They sent this over to me. I want to swatch it for you. It does smell really good, like vanilla, but it's pretty sheer. Actually, it's clear now that I think about it. The actual component looks like it's gonna have a tint, but it doesn't. And it feels really nice and slippy on the lips. Now, I haven't used this more than literally just like 30 minutes ago I applied this, but I wanted to see how it sits on my lips while I do my makeup. It feels really comfortable on the lips. It's not super thick, but it's also not sliding all over. So I'm interested to see how this actually hydrates the lips. But I want to talk about two new fragrances before we get into the makeup. So I want to start out with the Lake and Sky 1111 Vanilla. So this was sent to me in PR. This is a roller ball, and this has notes of sea salt, star apple, vanilla cream, marshmallow, passion flower, sheer amber, teak wood, and their 1111 skin scent musk. Is that what it says? So this is really interesting. I almost bought this from Ulta when it came out, but I thought that I didn't know if I would like it because a lot of people were saying it's more of a fresh scent, and I don't like anything that's too soapy or powdery. This is not that at all. It smells so good. It has definitely a little bit of that apple I get in there, but then I get marshmallow, vanilla, I get the amber, and I also get that musk. This is really beautiful. It's not your typical vanilla scent. So if you're thinking of like a gourmand vanilla, I don't think this is it. This is like fresh out of the shower vanilla, but also has that muskiness to it, kind of like a skin scent, but it has a little bit of that vanilla and freshness to it. So I really, really like this one. I did smell a candle of the original one. I think it's just the 1111, and I liked it, but I much prefer this vanilla one. So if you like fragrances like I do, I think you would really like this. And then I got this in PR, I think 2 days ago. Whoa. So Skylar comes out with a ton of new fragrances in these roller balls. They have something called the Scent Club. I think it's like a monthly thing, maybe sort of like Scentbird, where you pay to get like a roller ball every month, and they do come out with a ton of fragrances. So this new one I got, and it's called Sweet Nothings, and immediately I was drawn in because on their packaging they show like the top 3 notes. So the top notes are orange sorbet, strawberry leaves, and dragon fruit. Middle notes pink peony, magnolia, lily of the valley, and then base notes vanilla bean, cotton candy musks, and amber. This smells so good. I cannot even tell you, I want to bathe in this. I get a lot of that musky cotton candy note, but I also get that vanilla bean. And then when it dries down, I am getting that strawberry, orange sorbet, dragon fruit. I don't really get any of the floral notes in here. It's more of a kind of like fruity gourmand, if that makes sense. It is kind of unique to my collection because a lot of times fruity scents are really just like juicy or they are too floral. This one truly is like a strawberry cotton candy with a smidge of like an orange zest on there. It is so yummy. I wish they had a spray. If they came out with a full-size spray, I would absolutely be picking it up. It is not like Kaoli. It does have that strawberry, but there's no, I guess, creaminess in this. The Kaoli is more like, I think it's lactonic. It has like that whipped fluffy feel. This one is more like sticky, juicy, sweet. So I definitely recommend this. I think it smells incredible. My only complaint is that it is a softer scent. So I feel like you do have to kind of apply a lot because it is just like a skin scent. It's not like overpowering. So I wish it was a little bit stronger, but it is delicious. I had to recommend this because I immediately pulled it out of the box when I saw those notes and I was like, yes. All right, so I went ahead and zoomed you in so we can start on an eye look. I want to do something just soft and neutral today. That is what I've been preferring recently. As I get older, I'm just like not into those really heavy looks on myself. Plus they just take so much time and they irritate my eyes. So I just want to do something soft, and I want to use this new palette from Lunar Beauty. So they just came out with a new collection. It has this palette duo, which is really interesting. This is the day-night color palettes, and you get two palettes in here that magnetize together, but you have the lighter version, which is the daytime palette. They both have a mirror, which is also really nice. I can see myself using this a lot because most of the time I am reaching for really light shades. So in here you have 6 mattes and then 3 shimmers, which it looks like it's the same shimmer formula as his Nude Prism palette, which is like one of my holy grail palettes. And then you have the Night palette. Now this one is much more intense and dark, but again, you have 6 mattes and 3 shimmers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some swatches up for you. So in this collection, there's also some lashes. Let me grab these. These lashes you can pick up, which it has like the daytime and nighttime. So I think this is a really cute idea. And then 2 lip oils, and I am so excited because these look so pretty. This like milky pink, it's called Bite Me. His lip oils smell so good. My only complaint is I wish that they were a little bit more pigmented, but I know Manny likes a sheer look, so it's really just my personal preference. So we have that one, and then we also have Choose Me, which is a really fun, like, I don't know, it's not lilac, but it has a really fun like purple tint. And I actually feel like this one has a decent amount of pigment, whereas the milky one is definitely more sheer, but I'm excited to try these out. So let's start out with the eyes. So I wanna go in to the Day palette, and I think I wanna use this Beach Day shade up here, which is just like a really light, kind of warm, neutral shade. I'm just using a BK Beauty 201, and I'm just going to press this on the outer part of my eye. I do have a code with Lunar Beauty, and I will put it on the screen and down below so you can get 10% off. I am in love with the powder from Lunar. I have purchased and repurchased, I wanna say maybe 4 jars of it. Like that's how much I love it. It is the best smoothing powder if you have like combo oily skin and you're looking for oil control but smoothing. So I'm just starting there, and I'm gonna go in to Pull Up, which is the deepest shade in the palette. I'm gonna use a 211 from BK, and I just want to add a little bit more depth. This has like that rich kind of camel tone. So just kind of placing that down and then taking that first brush just to soften. For the inner portion of the lid, I wanna go in with this Sandy Cheeks, which is a bright, kind of creamy shade. And I didn't set fully my lid because I was hoping that this would pop a little bit more. I have really dry lids, so I have to be careful like layering shadow. I can't do multiple layers of powder on my lid because it just enhances and looks pretty rough. So I just want to apply this on the inner portion and then go back with that brush. And then next I'm going to take this shimmery shade called Shoreline. I love his metallics. Like, look at this. They are so just high shine, but they're not chunky, and they just kind of like adhere seamlessly. It's really, really a special formula. So I'm just going to take this in the center, and then I want to go into Lumos, which is the lightest metallic. It's got this really pretty like pinky gold shift, and I want to apply this on the inner portion, and then I'm just going to go back in with that deeper shade and then a little bit of that shimmer gold. I just want to kind of smudge it so that it fades into that matte. For liner, I'm going to use the Go-Go shade in the Night palette. So this is the deepest color in both of the palettes. And I'm going to use a BK Nikki LaRose N11. It's like this angled brush. I'm just using a stamping motion to start and then start to kind of pull this out. And I'm actually gonna jump into the Scene Stealer, which is a kind of brown shade. The Go-Go is black, and I don't think that I knew that it was black. I think with this background in this palette, the shades look a little bit lighter. So I'm just using that brown to build a wing, and I'm not worried about it being a mess because I don't have my foundation on. This is why I prefer to do my eyes first. And then I'm just gonna take a wet wipe and start to clean up, get a little bit more of the shape I'm looking for, and then I just kind of build off of that. I'm also gonna grab a little bit of this shade called Aura Points with a Rephr 03, and I wanted to lightly just smoke this wing just really, really subtly. I love a smoky wing look, but I struggle to do them. Okay, so I went ahead and put on some mascara. I used my Clio Kill Lash, that's my favorite. And then I did apply some Kiehl's moisturizer. But I wanna try this out on the high points of my face. This is the Benefit Do La La. It says, apply all over face with fingertips, wear on bare skin or over makeup. So I'm gonna take this, and this is in the shade Luna, which is light medium. Okay, now that I'm applying it, is this supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury? That's what I'm kind of guessing. When I saw the shade light medium, I was like, what? Is this like supposed to be a skin tint? Looking at it on the skin, I feel like it looks nice. I do have a glow. It's one that isn't quite as intense as the Charlotte Tilbury, so that could be good if you felt like that one was way too much. So I don't know, we'll see how this sits under my foundation, but I wanna go in with this skin tint. Cheryl raved about this. This is the Sephora Collection Reveal the Real Soft Radiant Skin Tint. So I picked this up during the sale. I got the shade 130N. Now this is supposed to be a fair shade, and I did just do my self tan. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work. Although I don't know if that really looks like a fair shade, but I think she said she uses her fingers to apply. So I'm gonna start with that, and I'm just going to spread this on the skin. This is supposed to be a light coverage, but I know she said she layers it. Like when she demoed it, I feel like she did a couple layers. Just upon feeling it, I like that it doesn't feel like thick. I'm not a huge fan of thick emollient base products. I am gonna take a BK Beauty 109 just to get around my hairline so I have more precision. All right, so this is what one layer is looking like. I feel like it does look really nice and very natural. It did even out my skin tone. This kind of feels like a tinted SPF in terms of coverage for me. I do like how lightweight it feels, but I definitely need more coverage. My issue is just kind of looking a little bit like splotchy around my redness because I just have general redness. I feel like it's hard to spot conceal that. So I'm gonna go in with a second layer and see how this builds up. I like how lightweight it feels. Just looking at my skin, I definitely think it is buildable. So that is a nice quality. All right, so I've got you really zoomed in. So I feel like this is a nice kind of soft, radiant look. It's not overly glowy by any means, and the texture of it is not thick. So I like that. I do think that I'm gonna need some help in my T-zone area just because like my nose, it's not sticking to, which is a very standard thing I deal with like a lot of skin tints or just lighter coverage products in general. But I'm curious to see how this would apply with like a fuller coverage powder foundation. That would be something I would do where I would apply this with my fingers and then just take like a kabuki brush and just kind of go over it with a pressed powder just to add more coverage. But I do want to try some cream products today. So I'm gonna go in first with my Say liquid bronzer. This is the color Swim. I just really like this. It's really easy to use. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm also going to try a new brush that I got during Black Friday. I picked this up because Makeup by Mario had 25% off, and I've been wanting this. So this is the F4 brush. So it has one kind of larger sized slanted brush and then a smaller one. So I thought that I would use the larger size for bronzer and then the smaller side for a blush. So I'm just gonna take the more fluffy side, dip into my Say, and I always like to start with my cream bronzer and then do my blush and then do my concealer when I'm using creams. And sometimes when I am using like a cream bronzer like this, it looks a little bit scary, but once I powder down, it does settle down. So I do like to go heavy-handed. This is also probably going to look heavier because of how light coverage that skin tint is. This brush is really nice. It is reminding me kind of the BK 109. I wanted to get it during the Sephora sale, but it was sold out, of course, but I actually ended up getting 25% off on his website. So I did buy 2 of them because I thought this looked like a brush that I would get a lot of use out of. And then I'm just gonna take the brush that I had that skin tint on just to kind of clean up any areas that I got a little carried away. Okay, next I wanna go in with liquid blush. I have not tried these, and somehow I just didn't get my thoughts on these. I had so many blushes coming in, and I've had a few comments asking me what I thought about these and to review them. So I thought that it would be the perfect time just because we've had a little bit of a slow with the new makeup releases, so I could really kind of go through my collection and figure out what I needed to use. So these are the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism liquid blushes. They're very, very, very thin in texture. So I want to start out, I think, with the Pumpkin Poppy. I'm just going to put some on my hand, and then I'm going to use the other side of this Mario brush and then apply onto the cheeks. So they're definitely pigmented, but not like Rare Beauty pigmented. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So this is what that pumpkin shade looks like. I don't have it all the way blended because I do that when I put my concealer on, but I want to take a little bit of this pink shade and I want to apply this a little bit higher, and then I'm going to use my concealer to kind of melt it together. So I'm just taking that brush with the tint and just kind of going around the edges. Those shades are really, really pretty, but I want to see how this comes together once I get concealer on. So I did pick up this NYX Pro Fix Stick, and this is the correcting concealer stick. So I think I got the lightest shade, or one of the lightest shades, 02 Pink. So this is a little stick concealer, and I'd seen somebody on TikTok raving about it, and I thought it would be a nice option for every day. So I'm just gonna go right where I have that darkness. And I have used this a couple times. My only thought is that it is a little bit drying, like the formula is not hydrating by any means. I love the coverage of it, but I just wish it had a little bit more hydration. So I find that sometimes like I have to prep my under eye, or I have to go in with a really hydrating concealer over it. But you can see that it brightened. So it's got really, really nice coverage. I just wish it had more hydration. It's very thin too, which I do like. So that's that. And then I want to go in with my ABH Magic Touch Concealer in the shade 4. And I want to tie all of this together. I'm gonna let my concealer sit for a second, but I did mix some in on my hand with the tint. And I just wanna kind of go over and add a little bit of coverage just to my T-zone. And then to blend out this concealer, I'm gonna use a BK 506. So once we have a general blend, I'm gonna go in with this concealer brush. It's kind of interesting because you kind of have to like marry the two. So I take the concealer brush, go around the edges of the blush, And then if I feel like I've gotten too much of the concealer, go back in with your blush brush. And then if you feel like you've gotten too close to your T-zone, you can take your foundation brush. So it's a little bit of playing around to see what blend you prefer. But we all know I love a heavy blush. But I mean, I'm sure you can see the difference on this side where I've blended it in more, and then once we set with powder, it'll really smooth out, and this side that looks a little crazy at the moment. All right, so now that we have all of our creams applied and blended out, I wanna go in with powder. So I'm gonna be using the Melt Bride of Frankenstein She's Alive powder. This is so beautiful. It has like a peachy pink tone to it. So I wanna use this in my T-zone. I actually like this so much that I bought a backup because that was sent to me in PR, and I just fell in love with it. So I bought a backup to have because I don't know if they're going to keep it around since it is just like a Halloween collection. And it was 40% off when I purchased it. So I will link that down below if they're still having that sale, hopefully. But I'm gonna take a powder puff and I just wanna press this into my T-zone and kind of pull it up the jaw. And then whatever's left, I just sort of press over my cheeks. To bronze up the skin, I am gonna go in with my Vive Bronzer Duo. And I have the BK 103. I just wanna add a little bit more in. I feel like that blush really took over. So I went ahead and applied some powder just to brighten up and bake under my contour and my nose. But I wanna go in with this Kosas eyeliner. This is the Soul Gazer gel eyeliner, and I have the shade here, Gravitate, which is just a really light shade, kind of like a nude. So I just wanna apply this to the waterline. It's a nice color because it's not like too bright, but it definitely does brighten up your lash line. I don't know, I want to not apply lashes, but I know that I want to apply lashes. So we'll see how far we get. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my brows, and then we will get into the highlight and the lips. For highlighter, I wanted to use this Givenchy Prism Libre highlighter in 14. This is the limited edition holiday highlighter. So these highlighters have two different colors and you can kind of mix and match them, but I just love Givenchy cheek products. So I've used this before. This has like a rose gold and then a kind of bright white. Turns out to be something pretty intense. So I'm gonna go in with a BK Nikki LaRose N14, and I just want to grab a little bit of product. And okay, I just got a big old chunk there. Just be mindful because this is a blinding formula. I'm not really into highlight like I used to be, but that is intense. Woo, okay. I'm also gonna take a little bit on an eyeshadow brush. Oh yeah, on my inner corner. All right, so I went ahead and curled my hair, and I did apply two little corner pieces of these pre-glued lash clusters. These are really, really nice because they have a kind of cat eye look to them. So I just applied two clusters on each side. I've never tried these before, but they have the glue on them, and I bought a bunch from Amazon, and these were actually really, really easy to use. So I will link these down below, but for our lips, I did pick up a Morphe Soulmate lip liner in the shade Whipped. I really do like Morphe's lip liners. I haven't tried this one though. I like the standard pencils more, but this one had good reviews and I was at Ulta. I got sucked in. So let me go ahead and line my lips and then we'll go in with this Armani lipstick. I'm excited to try. This shade isn't as like nude as I anticipated. It kind of has like a berry undertone. So this shade is really, really pretty. It's not the color I thought it would be. I feel like it's much more of like a berry nude, but it's really beautiful. I wanna go in next with this lipstick. So I've tried the satin version of these, but Armani was like 40 to 50% off, and I think it still is actually. So I shared it on my community tab. If you want to be updated on like sales and stuff like that, definitely follow me on there and put your notifications on. But I saw that this was available, the matte version of the Armani lipsticks, and this shade in 114 just spoke to me. I love like a light pinky nude, and I think this is gonna be stunning. So I haven't tried the matte version, but I have tried the satin version and I thought it was really nice. So I'm just gonna apply this to the center of the lips. It does have that matte look, but it's more like a hydrated matte. It's not like a dry, powdery matte. I wanna go back in with the lip liner and just kind of reinforce. And then on top of that, I do want to apply this Lunar Beauty lip oil in Bite Me. This is really, really sheer, but I still want to just add that to the center of the lips. It's so glossy. His lip oils are like so shiny and they smell incredible. So let me go ahead and do my finishing touches, and then we will come back to go over my initial first impression of everything. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying out new products, and I wanna go over my first impressions. So far, I like this lip balm from Bloom. I've not tried anything from them, but this is really nice and comfortable. It's not too sticky. It has a nice shine to it. It smells good. So I'll have to keep testing this out to see if it really does add hydration, but my lips did feel comfortable the whole time that I was doing my makeup. So that might be a winner. Of course, I've already talked about how much I love this Skylar fragrance and how much I love the Lake and Sky. So I will link these down below. They did have some sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I don't know if they're still going on, but they may be. And then moving on to a standout for me has to be this Lunar Beauty palette duo. I just love his formula. I love the colors in this Day palette just because I feel like you have everything you really need. I like how you have a peachy warm, you have a kind of cool toned warm, and then you have the pink. I mean, I feel like you just have every variation that you could possibly need. And these colors are something that I would reach for literally every day. And then the Night palette really gives you the versatility to have a smoky eye if you have a deeper skin tone. I think you will love this. I love, love, love his shimmers. And I just really love his formula overall. Honestly, this look took me literally 5 minutes. Like, it was so easy to blend. And this is why I love his formula. So I definitely recommend those. And then in terms of the base, so I'm not sure how to feel about this Sephora skin tint. I do feel like my skin looks really nice, and I like that it is not heavy. It doesn't feel sticky. It did appear to play well with powder, but I do wish it had just a little bit more coverage. I think it would be something that I would use again on days when I'm not filming or doing full glam, and I would just apply it and then apply concealer where I need to, and then put like a heavier coverage powder on top. But I do think it's nice. It's comfortable. I don't find it to be overly radiant, but it doesn't look like flat. I do want to see how it wears throughout the day. And then this Benefit Do La La, I do think this gave me a little bit of a glow, but I really have other primers that I like more, and I feel like this just kind of didn't stand out to me in terms of a glowy primer. I much prefer my NARS. I also really like the Hue drops from Glow Recipe and the Gold drops from Drunk Elephant. So this was just kind of not standing out to me. And then in terms of the NYX Pro Eye Stick Corrector, I really do think this gave me some nice brightness. It has a really good coverage. I just wish it was a little bit creamier. It's definitely very thin, lots of coverage. So if you're somebody that has oily skin, I think you would really, really love this. If you have dry under eyes like me, you definitely want to prep, and you may want to mix this with a really hydrating concealer. But I do like just how effortless it is. You just kind of apply it. You can use your finger and you're good to go. Just wish it was a little bit more hydrating. I love, this is another standout for me, this Mario brush duo or duo brush, dual-ended brush. This was sold out for a while and now I see why. It's essentially like two of the BK Beauty 109s. So I think this is going to be probably one of my favorite brushes if it holds up. It's just the perfect shape to do any sort of cream products. This would also be great for a foundation. So I get the hype on this. I don't know what took me so long to try it, but I really, 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 really like it. And then of course I love my Say Dew Bronze. I just think this is so easy to use. The shade is really, really warm, but it does give me a lot of color. And I just really like how easy it is to blend. It's not too dewy. It really plays well with powder. So this has been top pick for me. Speaking of powder, absolutely love this. I've already talked about it. It's very, very, very smoothing. It has like a peachy pink color to it. Plays well with cream products. I just really, really, really love this. And then the Lunar Beauty blushes are really, really beautiful. I feel like my cheeks look really, really flushed. I want to play around with this lilac color alone, which I will do maybe in upcoming videos or just, you know, when I'm playing around with makeup and trying to decide my thoughts. This formula is very, very pigmented and it's not overly dewy or emollient. So I feel like if you have oily combo skin, you'll probably really like this. And it did play well with powder. I feel like I had no issues with these. So interested to keep trying those. The Givenchy highlighter is super, super intense. I do have to say that I love it on my inner corner. I just feel like this is like holiday vibes. It's perfect for upcoming, you know, Christmas parties or any New Year's Eve looks. So I think it's really pretty. It's a splurge, but I get it every single year. And then the lips, I like this lip liner from Morphe. I do feel like it was creamy, but not too creamy where it was all over. I did think that the shade pulled a lot more like berry on my lips, but I actually really like how it looks. So I think this is nice. These are super, super, super affordable. And then the Givenchy, I'm excited to try this with like my go-to liners because I do feel like since this was more berry, it pulled the pink out of this, but I love light pink tones like this. And this feels like a really nice, comfortable lip formula. I want to see how long it wears, but it's not like a drying matte. So if that's something that you were kind of afraid of, this definitely is not dry at all. I feel like it has a nice like creaminess to it. And then the Lunar Beauty lip gloss. Why did I say it was a lip oil? I thought this was a lip oil. I wish this had more pigment. That's my only qualm, but they're not sticky, super high shine as you can see, and they smell incredible. I just want a little bit more pigment, but again, that's just my personal preference. But overall, I feel like we had a really successful trying new makeup, and that doesn't always happen. So of course, I will link everything that I shared today down below in my description box. If there's any sales still going on, I will put that info down there as well. Let me know if you've tried any of these products and if any of these are favorites of yours. I always love chatting with you guys in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.